Hello, my name's Victoria Seed, and I am coming to you live today from Manchester from the Vesta Approach. I help professional women, business owners, and other women to live the most happiest and peaceful life when they're living with a loved one's addiction. Please bear with me a second because I'm just going to see if this is live and then I'm going to pop it on to my page. Okay. Right. So thank you very much for joining me today. I'm here to talk about how to get ahead of your loved one's manipulation tactics when you are living with a loved one's addiction. Now, this is a very, very tricky situation to deal with, and I've been doing this work for a long time. So I help my clients with this stuff. So let's have a look about how I can help you. I do have a free group, which I'm just going to pop in the chat for you. This is a free Facebook community. And this is for women just like you. Hi, Prasanna. How are you? So this is for women just like you who are living in this situation that can be really, really tough. Most of my clients have either partners who are using alcohol or drugs or adult children. And this is something that they've been dealing with for quite a long time. So head over and join my community if you are living in this situation and you want some help and support. So I help people basically by one-to-one support and group work programs. If you need any of that support, just drop me a message and I will happily book in a friendly chat with you and see how I can help. So let's have a look. I'm looking at my phone here because it's got my notes on. So what really we've got to be thinking about here is just a few questions to consider when getting ahead of your loved one's manipulation tactics. So, question one: how has your loved one responded before when you have challenged their use? How has your loved one responded before when you've challenged your use? So, whenever you've tried to put something into place or stand up to their alcohol or drug use. So, it might be that you have thrown alcohol down the sink. It might be that you've taken their keys off them before they've gone off to drive. It might be that you said, listen, you're making me feel sad when this is happening. So, you've put a boundary in place with them calmly. It might be that you've yelled. It might be that you have cried. It might be that you've said they have to leave. Whatever it is, it's really good to think about any of these strategies that you've used and then any responses that have happened as a result of those strategies you've tried to put in place, because what usually happens is when we try and interfere with their use, that's where either temptations come out or threats. Okay, so think about any temptations that your loved ones said or done or kind of used against you when you've tried to interfere with the use. And what I mean by trying to interfere, when we interfere with a loved one's drug or alcohol use, they will often react to that to try and stop us interfering. So what happens is they will often use any strategies, tools, techniques that they can pull out of the bag to get us off the case, right? Now, there's a caveat to this, just to bear in mind, because as affected family members, friends, partners, we've got to have hope that a loved one can change. But what we're looking for here is evidence, not optimism. So if your loved one uses any of these temptations, it doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to follow through with it, because we've got to have hope. We've got to show them that we've got hope. And then whatever they say, we can be hopeful, but we've got to ask for evidence of that, right? So let's think about the temptations. They might tell you that they love you. They might say they will change. They might promise to change. They might become vulnerable or weak They might compliment you. They might big up your relationship and talk about the good times. I can see that a Facebook user has said hello as well, but I don't know who you are. If you're in the group, you might want to remain anonymous. You can put your name in at the top of the post on StreamYard. And then so think about those temptations. What have they come up with before? And make a list of them. That's a good thing to do. Just get a piece of paper, make a list, rewatch this video and follow along. Think about any threats. So have they said that they're going to hurt you? Have they said that they're going to hurt themselves? Have they said that they're going to divulge any personal information? Have they said they're going to leave you? Have they said, have they blamed a hurtful past? Have they inferred that you don't love them? Have they blamed you for the substance use? Have they belittled you? Yeah. Does it any of this sound familiar? I'm sure it does to some of you. So think about this. Think about the threats. Make a list of what they've come up with before when you've had these interactions. Okay. This is all going to help you get a step ahead of the substance. So, whether it's alcohol or a drug or a mixture of the two, whatever it is, we want you to get a step ahead of that substance so that you can change your life. Okay. So that's number one. How has your loved one responded when you've challenged their use? Make a list of those temptations and a list of the threats. Number two, why do you think they do this? Why do you think they try and tempt you with temptations and threats? Well, first of all, because what you're doing is working. Your loved one knows this and they are going to do anything that they can to stop you from interfering with their use. Okay. Um, I had a client once a few years ago whose husband contacted me about 6 months after we'd worked together and said, "Can I speak to you?" I thought, "Oh no, I'm in trouble now." And I know that he won't mind me saying this, but then he spoke to me and he talked to me about his experience of the changes in his partner when she was working with me. Now, the change was down to her. I guided her, so she did lots of brilliant work herself. And what he said was the substance use was no longer a secret. She'd shone a light on it. His day was spent getting up in the morning, planning around how he was going to sneak his alcohol and hide it from her. And when all that went away, when she had clear boundaries, when she said to him, when you drink, you've got to do this. We don't want you around us. And then he was left with his substance. And that's where the change started. So when it starts working, you're going to see a reaction, but that means that what you're doing is working. So don't let it put you off. Just keep going. Say, "That's lovely that you're saying these things to me. I need evidence of that. I need you to show me." Okay. So, what does all this mean? What can you do about it? So, the best thing to do with this stuff is to map everything out. Write down your lists of temptations, your list of threats. Think about then whether they've followed through with any of these statements. Have these things happened? uh, you know, and then think about how you've responded to these statements. Is there any way you could respond differently to get a different result? And what I'm saying to you is stick with your strategies, stick with your plan. Okay, because a lot of the time where you get this like strong reaction, it's because there is going to be a change, and that the alcohol and the drug does not like that change. And then you're going to have a better idea about when your loved one is trying to manipulate you, because you're going to have all of this mapped out. And this list might change. There might be new things that happen. The best thing to do is keep hold of this list, plan for what you're going to do and how you're going to respond in the future. And of course, all of this is about tipping the balance. So we want to tip the balance so that your loved one start seeing being sober as a more attractive option than being intoxicated. And that, through the way you respond and through the changes in the environment that you have control of, can influence a change in your loved one's behavior. And that's what we want. You can't change them, you can't make decisions for them. So stop putting your energy on that. Place your energy over here on you and what you can do. And this stuff that I work with my clients on is the absolute best way forward, because you focusing on the things that you've got that you have control of. Okay, so I can help. Like I've said, I've posted in the chat. I don't think it comes through to LinkedIn, so I'll post it after. Popped a link into my Facebook community, Not My Addiction, for women just like you who are living with a loved one's addiction. If you don't identify as a woman, that's fine. Just drop me a message. I can help you in other ways. And I do have a one-to-one space coming up very shortly. If anyone wants to work directly with me, please get in touch. Drop me a message, drop me an email. I'll pop my links in under the chat. So I will see you soon. I'm going to go. Take care. And if you've got any comments, thoughts, feelings, or reflections, drop it in the comments or drop me a message and I'll be happy to help.